Great day. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing well. Just wanted to pop on. Normally it's Sunday. I made a promise when I started this channel, really started and adding content, that I would add some content at least once a week. And lately the content has been surrounded by what's in the fridge. Well, this week I decided we're not doing any cooking demos. I just did something light. I actually baked a potato and had some frozen veggies in the freezer. I pulled them out, steamed them. That was dinner. But today, it's story time. I lost my mom July 19th, 2020. And my life has definitely been lifing ever since. One, when you lose your mom, anybody that has out there that has lost their mom, I know for me, when I lost my mom, instantly I was changed. I just had no idea what that change would look like. So that was July 19, 2020. I think 2 years later, no, 3 years later, I finally had enough. And I walked away from pretty much everything. My home, my marriage, life as I knew it. So just imagine being 55, having a plan to retire the next year, and all of that is now changed. It was kind of a blow when I realized I took a pre-retirement training and just going on all the numbers and everything, and I was like, okay. But I just couldn't in that moment grasp, why did this thing that I was planning for a year later seem so further off? I had to kind of be really honest with myself. Those plans to retire were based upon things that were no longer a part of my life. So yeah, I had to come up with another plan, and I still haven't actually come up with that plan. You know how many great movies, they'll tell you the end and then get into the movie and lead you up until how we got to the end. Well, this is my end. In 1 year, January 2023, January 28th, 2023, when I walked away from everything. In that year, I purchased a home, I packed up a home, I moved, I sold a home, and I got divorced in 1 year. And to say, well, not to say, because it hasn't been easy. I have good days, I have bad days. I'm making it. God is good all the time. I tell you, I'm a living testimony. I said all the time, if I had 1,000 tongues, I could not thank God enough. His rejection, I've realized, was my protection. Yeah, I moved out January 28th, 2023. My birthday was the following month. Here I am, 55, living by myself, about to sell a home. Still married to a man that refused to communicate with me. And it wasn't never about, we never had a conversation. It was never about getting back together, none of that. It was just, we still had a house to sell. We still had things that needed to be taken care of. But That's in the past. God got me through. It was frustrating. And I thank God for my circle. It's very small, but they were there to help me through. And I appreciate them in more ways that I could ever say. But I always say, only you know when you've had enough. And when you come to that point, wild horses are not going to be able to stop you from doing what you feel you have to do for you. But let me tell you how this went. No marriage is great. I'll start there. You're going to have ups and downs. You have two people trying to come together as one. And nobody's perfect. We all have our issues, you know. But when you don't have trust, you don't have communication, you don't have honesty, you like, what we talking about here? No, better yet, what are we doing? What I realized for me, that no longer worked. It had stopped working a long time ago. But I'm a true Aquarian. I will see a relationship through hell, but when I'm done, I'm done. And I had got to being done. So it was time to go. And I really didn't have a plan. I didn't think I needed it. I mean, I had a plan. Don't get me wrong. No, I did have a plan. But I didn't have a plan as far as leaving. I just thought we were having issues. Ooh. But when you realize you're the only one trying to work on the relationship and the marriage and everything, you're like, no, I'm done. I'm done. Stick a fork in me because I'm done. But God is good. And I'll just tell you this. This is how good God is. I'll say the year of 2022, maybe starting around the summertime, I'll say June or July, I had started looking on Realtor.com. I'm like, okay, I need to find me somewhere to live. Rates were high. I'm like, this is just not the time. But I'm like, God, please guide me. Guide my steps. Because I don't have a clue. I don't know. So I would always look on Realtor.com. My little cousin was looking at the time. Sometimes we would look together. I would send her links. She would send me links. So I said, what, June or July? So maybe about, I wasn't finding anything that I was like, yes, that's it. So I got around October. I'm like, you keep looking on Realtor.com like you're looking for somewhere to live, but you haven't gotten pre-approved and, pre-approved, rather. So what if you find something? You know how the saying is, you got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So that was October when that thought crossed my mind. Still being busy, I was the executor of my mom's estate. I'm still trying to figure that out. I think were we selling, was our condo on the market at that time? I can't remember. It was so much going on. It's always, last 4 years have just been, yeah. But I will say the beginning of December, I think it was, December 7th, I finally did an application to get pre-approved for a mortgage. So a couple of weeks, I'm still logging on to Realtor.com. I finally come across a home and it stopped me in my tracks. So I started looking at the pictures. I said, I want this house. So I sent it to my little cuz, the link, and a good girlfriend. And all I sent them was the link and said, I want this house. So they both eventually responded and was like, I want this house too. But I don't think they realized that I was serious. I don't think anybody realized I was to that point. I think they knew because, you vent sometimes and, oh yeah, we're having issues. But I don't think anyone knew to what extent the issues were. So December 7th, I got pre-approved. Still logging on to Realtor.com every day. Show you how God works. December 21st, I saw this house. And when I saw this house, the immediate conversation was, I want this house. Then it was, Lord, how am I going to get that house? God said to me, as if he was sitting right here next to me. I said, how am I going to do this? God said, do you trust me? I'm telling you. What? Because it was that loud. Yeah. He said, I got you. So I sat there for a second. And I said, okay. So I was working with a new realtor, which happens to be someone that I actually work with. Again, had no idea. I called her. Hey, I want to put a contract on this house. After her initial, oh, okay. She went into, because like I say, no one knew. She went into realtor mode. Well, have you seen the house? No. Oh, okay. Well, let me make an appointment to see the house because we're not putting a contract on a house that we haven't seen yet. Okay. This was a Wednesday. I remember December 21st, 2022. Look on the calendar. It was a Wednesday. So she got an appointment for 4:30. The meantime, I had already sent the link to my girlfriend and my cuz. My cuz called me and was like, cuz, this house says pending. And I looked. I was like, what you mean? What do you mean? So I'm looking like, I don't know. I don't know if any of you have ever felt that when you know, you just know. You might not always know how you know, but you know you know. I said, well, it may be pending, but that is my house. I don't know how. And it doesn't even matter. That's not my business. I know that's going to be my new address. And I was sure, as I knew my name, that that was going to be my house. So when we went to see the house that same day, December 21st, 2022, I told my realtor, I said, okay. She said, well, yes, it is pending. I said, well, can we put a backup contract? She said, we sure can. Let me call them, her realtor, and see if they're still accepting contracts. I said, okay. I was not worried. And when I tell this story, I do get emotional because it's just the awesomeness. It's just the awesomeness of when you listen and you obey. The divorce in some parts were ugly. And I never retaliated. I always did. I'm not gonna lie. I thought about doing some other stuff, but each time, God, he wouldn't say anything, but it was just this look like, I don't even have to answer that. You know the answer to that. And I know I've been blessed for it. But back to the house. So we put the contract in as a backup on Wednesday, December 21st. So I remember talking to my cousin the next day. It was Thursday, the 22nd. She said, so what happens now? I said, oh, we just wait. So now it's Friday, December 23rd, 2022. I remember it's probably about 9:30 a.m. I get a text. And when I read the text, the tears just would not stop. The text said, this ain't nothing but God. It was from my realtor. She said, this is nothing but God. She said, I got an email, probably from the seller's realtor, about midnight, maybe close to 1 something in the morning. So I'm just seeing it. And it says, the first buyer got cold feet. Is your buyer still interested? And I said yes, through my tears. Because God told me that was my house. Friday. Just getting paper child. Trying to tell stories. I'm getting all emotional. But Friday, December 23rd, 2022, I was officially under contract. About 2 weeks later, January 13th, I went to settlement. January 28th, I moved out. And that was one of the best decisions I ever made. It was hard. It hurt. I'm not even gonna lie. My ex, we were in each other's lives for over 30 years. Went through a lot. I mean, a period of incarceration, a long period of incarceration. Just a lot. And I honestly married him because I unconditionally loved him. And I thought we would grow old together. But like they say, we all plan, but God plans best. And since walking away, I think it was Ayanla I heard say this, your new life is going to cost you your old. And it's been a lot of changes that I've had to make, but I'm at peace. I sleep good at night. I love my home. Now, some other things have changed that I had to get adjusted to, but I'm at peace. I'm at peace. And I don't have no hard feelings. Honey, I could tell you some stories. I don't have no hard feelings. For what? God is blessing me every day. So I'm going to put a pin in it right there. I'm going to figure out what's going to be chapter 1, 2, 3. But come on back if you want to hear some more of the story. Just thank you for being a part of my journey. You know, this thing called life. And if I can encourage, motivate, help just one person, I think I've done my job. Hope you have a great night.